This is the Hanging with A podcast.
What's up? This is the Hanging with A podcast coming to you always from Brockton, Massachusetts. Before we get started, first I want to say Happy New Year to everybody out there. Hopefully everybody had a great New Year. Hopefully everybody had a great holiday. And hopefully everybody is doing well. The Hanging with A podcast is at 60,900 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate all the love and support. Definitely keep tapping in. Definitely keep sharing. Definitely keep commenting. Thank you very much. My last episode 65, that I did with my wife is at right now is at 121,000 views. So I appreciate everybody for checking in and the comments that you left under that video. It really means a lot to us. You can find the Hang with A podcast on YouTube. I'm on Spotify. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Like I like to say, I'm all over the place. So make sure that you tap in. I'm also doing Hip Hop Live every Thursday night at 6 o'clock p.m. with my bros, Dom, E, and Mario. So make sure you guys check us out. Talking about the hip hop culture, album reviews, and all of those good things. My first guest of 2025, I'm very lucky that she, you know, agreed to sit down and do this interview with me. She's an incredible, incredible singer. I don't listen to a lot of R&B, but if she ever came out with an album, I probably would listen to the whole thing from front to back. She's very, very talented. I really appreciate her for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Nim K.
Uh,
How's it going?
it's going good. I can't complain.
Yep. Tell us a little bit about you. Like who are you and a little bit of your backstory.
Um, I mean, I'm just a girl from the North Shore, of Massachusetts. I mean, I mean, my backstory. My father's a musician, so
Okay.
that's how I kind of got into music. And music's just always been in my life. My mom's a music lover. My father's a musician. I feel like I like to say I was made out of music and love, that's what I'm made out of. So naturally music is my life, if I didn't have music, whether I'm performing or not, I was listening to it, consuming it, which have been that's a big part of my life. And I've always been a creative my whole life, so I feel like that's kind of my origin when it comes to music. The East, but I'm from the North Shore, of Massachusetts. I'm from Peabody. um and yeah, I don't know.
Now my kids live in PB, so
Okay.
um, yeah, they live out in Peabody. So shout out to Peabody. I've spent a lot of time out
Yes,
there.
go.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time out in the Peabody area. Whether it's hanging out with friends or in general, but my babies live out there, so I do spend a lot of time out there. How was life for you growing up?
I mean, I grew up in a two-parent household until I was like about six. And
Okay.
then parents separated. So that was a challenge, having like two parents that don't live together, don't really get along. Which was a big reason why I think I started writing. It was a way that I kind of got into, getting my feelings out there and things like that. But as far as that, I had a pretty good childhood for the most part. I didn't have everything growing up. Had everything that I could like from a child's perspective. But I wasn't like rich or anything like growing up. We weren't like, like like what like third world country poor or anything like that. But like
Yeah.
my mom was a single parent. She worked like at least two jobs all the time. Even now, she still works really hard. I came from just like a working class family, that like worked really hard for everything we had. I was taught at a very young age, like nothing's free. If you want something, you can do anything you want, but you have to make sure you work for it, and anything you start, you finish. I come from a really like strong, Sicilian family. Um, and growing up, was nice because family was everything, so
Yeah.
I always had my family, but I wasn't really didn't have like very many friends outside of my family. I went to a Catholic school. So it was also like very like kind of sheltered. Wasn't really exposed to too much. But the radio was always there, and whenever I went to my cousins' houses or things like that, I got on their computers and could get access to other things. But for the most part, up until I was maybe about like 11 or 12, I was very, very sheltered. Wasn't really aware of like, things going on in the world. Like, was always told about things or always reminded, about like the reality of also being like mixed and things like that. But was very sheltered to a lot of things until I, got older, got into, with like preteen or high school age, but for the most part growing up it wasn't too rough because my parents protected me from a lot of things, but we definitely weren't rich and definitely weren't middle class, but I learned to appreciate everything I had, so I never really lost out on anything because I think love and family and those type of things are a lot more important than materialistic stuff.
No, I totally agree with that. I was gonna ask you, growing up mixed, was that hard for you? Like my kids, I have three kids, Angelica, Cam, and Malcolm. They are all mixed. Um, and my kids, Angelica and Malcolm live in Peabody. Cam lives with us here in Brockton. Um, and I always think about like, what life looks like for them growing up. Like especially my son. My son's 11, so he's trying to figure out like where he fits in.
Mhm.
He gets a different side of the world when he comes up here to visit me versus living with his mom in Peabody. I like to tell him, you got the best of both worlds because you get a chance to see some of everything.
Mhm.
But like for you growing up, being mixed, like, did you run into a lot of issues or was it hard for you to kind of like find where you fit in? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like now it's a lot more common. I mean, even then, I mean, it wasn't like rare, but I mean, I feel like now it's a lot more common for people to be of mixed race, especially like, black and white. But growing up, I mean, it definitely was difficult. I mean, growing up in Peabody, I mean, it's predominantly white. I mean, now it's a lot more diverse, but back then it was very like not segregated, but I mean, West Peabody was pretty much like Italians, like, South Peabody was like Irish, and then like, Central Peabody was pretty much like everybody else, like type of thing. And then there was people mixed in within. So, I mean, as much as growing up, I mean, like I said, I was kind of sheltered from some things, but as I got older, I started to kind of realize like, oh, okay, like I'm too white for these people. I'm too black for these people. But like then like the Latino community was like, oh well, you're not you don't speak Spanish. Like what are you? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like so like identity wise, like yeah, it was a little difficult just because like my family loved me. Like both sides of my family never treated me differently or never like said anything. Like even if things were said, like they would defend me on my behalf. So like I didn't really like get too into like there wasn't too much discrimination until like I got older. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, I was the only like black child like in my Catholic school for a while. So but no one really like excluded me or because it was almost impossible to really exclude me. Yeah, like were there differences? Like of course, like my hair is curly, my skin's a little darker, things like that. But for the most part, I feel like everyone kind of just minded their own business. But as far as like out in the world, I mean, for my parents, it definitely wasn't easy. Like it was kind of frowned upon what was going on with them. So I mean, I haven't like experienced. I mean, not that I haven't experienced. I don't let people bother me.
Yeah.
I have pretty tough skin. I mean, outside of being mixed, I was bullied my whole life for no reason. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty like resilient. Like I really don't care how people feel about me because I'm a good person and I know I can look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day. But like my grandmother, my mother, my father, my aunts, uncles, like everybody would just let me know like you're beautiful. you're a good person. That's all that really matters in this world. People are ignorant, and that's their business. Um, but to always just be kind and just keep being me. And but I mean it yeah, identity wise, it sometimes it is a little difficult just because, people are, always want to weigh in on what they think your experiences are, or based off like, oh well, you have this or you have that, not really knowing who you are. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's more of a reflection of them or self projection.
Yep.
Um, but I grew up very like strong minded. Of course, it bothered me, like when, you know, there wasn't a lot of inclusivity. I feel like now there's a lot of inclusivity. I feel like at this point, I mean, I feel like everybody is trying to look mixed. So, I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, like, I feel like, yeah, like, overcame, years of bullying. But at the point in my life, I mean, I'm pretty happy, with who I am. And you're right. It's a mix of both worlds. We get a taste of everything, and
Yeah.
bigger perspective, a better understanding. And, it's just I feel like we're like a perfect example of when two different worlds come together,
Yeah.
pure based off love. And I like
Hmm.
at the beginning of this interview, I like to think that I'm made out of love, pure love. And I feel like I feel like eventually everybody's gonna be mixed. I feel like it's not gonna really be pure anything eventually.
Yeah.
We're almost there. I mean, I feel like everyone I meet is a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like it's very rare to find somebody that's just one thing, unless they're literally from that country and they never left or like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, it definitely was difficult. I definitely did go through a lot. But I mean, I didn't really let it bother me. I've always been a loner anyway, so
Yeah.
wasn't really bothered by, the finicky friends or what people said about me or anything like that. I just focused on what I was doing, but of course, I mean, with culture and everything like that, it's hard sometimes when, like you want to stand up for what you believe in, but you also understand perspectives from other sides. So I think also it gives you a balanced perspective of the world.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's hard because there's people that are so closed-minded that they don't even comprehend the things that you already know just because you're around it all the time.
Yeah.
You
No.
I mean, personally, I mean, I'm an activist. I mean, I fight for my people regardless, but I also educate people that aren't quite, privy to the Black experience. Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I am a Black woman, no matter, what I'm mixed with, that's how I'm viewed in society, no matter what. Like, so sometimes, it's more so like perspectives and how you view it. If you don't want to be around negative people, just don't be around them. It's really that
Yeah.
simple. But also, when people attack you, don't, you don't have to stand down or anything like that. Stand up for yourself, but always just, stay true to yourself. That's what I always believe in. But at the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't like super traumatic, but there definitely were experiences that, weren't very enjoyable. But I mean, I feel like now, if anything, it's probably, a whole lot easier, to be of mixed race just because people understand it a lot more and there's way more
Yeah.
people, that
Yeah.
are mixed.
Yeah. No. I mean, thank you very much for that incredible response. I really appreciate that. But you're absolutely right. I think everybody wants to be mixed, and I think a lot of people are more accepting of it. Versus, this was back in the day. So, um, thank you very much for that response. How was 2024 for you?
But it was a year of extreme and rapid growth.
Hmm.
Um, it's like it was like growing pains. Like it was painful, but it was cool. Like it was 2024 was it started off with a bang. I released my first single off my album that I'm gonna be releasing this year. I'm living my best life with terminology. Um and like it was all gas, no brakes the whole year.
Yeah.
Like I didn't I don't even know how I got through it. Like it was a lot. Like it was the first year that I actually was like pretty much a full-time artist. I also have a full-time job, so it was really hard, balancing the two.
Yeah.
And and making sure, I'm also leaving room for myself and my family. Um, but yeah, like it was such a great year. I was actually just on the phone with Term like not too long ago, and we were just reflecting on all the things we've done this past year and how eye opening, and it gave me a lot more of appreciation for the underground scene and hip
Mm-hmm.
hop, because I got to meet so many people that were at the beginning of this stuff that created hip hop and
Yeah.
continue to fight for, independence and, um an expression of art and keeping, what hip hop and music and all that stuff is about. And it gave me a better understanding too, realize that, they're like, when you think about it, like 50 years is not a long time.
No,
And
it's not.
and for people to say that, the underground scene or all like the original stuff is like dying out, like that's a lie. Cause I mean, I every Thursday, I mean, except for today, but pretty much every Thursday for the past year, I've been going to New York and seeing, the culture, alive and well and thriving. And it's just, I feel like it's just been such a blessing. Like I just feel so blessed to have experienced everything I have this year.
Yeah.
A lot of knowledge, and I can't wait to take all my experiences and execute them, this year.
Yeah. No, we talked about this on Tuesday on the live. And I said, I went to a show. It's called Eva. Shout out to 1,000 Words because he does it, and Richard Gray, they do it. And I went last summer, and it was in Lynn. I love hip hop. I love MCing. Um, which is why I made this podcast. But I had an opportunity to be around so many talented MCs in one space. Underground hip hop. They were all passionate about it, hungry about it. Um, was very, 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 very open to like, conversating with me. And, a couple of them came on my platform, last year. Shout out to Jeff Porter. Shout out to C's.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And shout out to Sheikh Hanif. Sheikh Hanif is probably my favorite rapper in the Boston area right now. Feed the Family, those guys. Um, but I just think underground hip hop is where it's at right now.
Mhm.
Not taking nothing away from mainstream because you got your mainstream, but I feel like you're starting to get into that lane where like there's just a couple of mainstream artists that are like popping and hot. But if you look on the underground scene, there's so many.
Yeah.
Like my timeline is flooded with so many. And it's just incredible to see um where hip hop is going and how it's evolving. I had an opportunity not last year, but the year before last. I interviewed the DOC. The DOC is one of my favorite rappers of all time. For those of you that may not know who the DOC is, the DOC was Dr. Dre's first ever solo artist. He ended up losing his voice in a car crash. He only came out one album, but that one album is probably one of the greatest albums ever created in hip hop. It's called No One Can Do It Better. But Dr. Dre produced on it. And he ended up losing his voice, but then he ended up like writing for Dre, writing for Snoop, doing stuff for Eminem, Tupac. He was part of NWA. So, it was incredible just to hear him talk about where hip hop was when he started and where hip hop is at right now. But he also helped me understand the difference between a rapper and an MC,
Yeah.
because there is a difference. There's a
Yeah.
difference. A lot
Mhm.
of people don't really understand that, but there definitely is a difference. So it's just incredible to see um, where where it's at right now. So we're talking about hip hop. So when did you fall in love with hip hop?
I mean, since I mean, since a little child, I mean, my father and my mother have always played all types of music, but I mean, my father, especially hip hop, like always had his, burned CDs or his tapes in the car. Like, just it's always been a huge part of my life,
Yeah,
So yeah, like I mean, since I was born, pretty much, like.
yeah, that's dope. Talk to me a little bit about like your musical journey. Like when did that start for you?
I mean, like I said, like I was pretty much born in the studio. I
Yeah,
mean, I go to band practices with my dad, like and like just little tiny thing. Always been to all his concerts. Like, that he used to, play at Salisbury Beach, Hampton Beach. I used to get on stage with tambourine and, like stuff like that. Like, was just really close to all the band members. Like, played a few instruments growing up. Was in a lot of choirs. Like, it was in church too. So I mean, music, I've always been like musically inclined, but as far as like taking it seriously and like, I don't know, becoming Nim K, that happened like after the pandemic. I
Okay.
did, I took music like, like not seriously before that, but like did more like, like little local shows here and there or like did open mics, but like wasn't really taking it seriously. Like, just kind of like, just expression of self because I love music. But after the pandemic, it was kind of like a wake up call, because of all the people that, passed away, and all the tragedy and like just realizing life is way too short, to like not go after like, what you really want to do in life and things like that. And so after 2020, around 2021, I made a 5-year plan to execute, what I'm doing right now. Um, and it pretty much took off from there. The first year, I just spent the whole year networking, not even making music or performing, but just kind of just going to all the events, kind of meeting everybody, getting my name out there, and the reserving table, people being like, oh, here's Min K, here's this girl. Like, at that point, I didn't have any social media, so I had to recreate all my social media in the ground up, just basically like, networking and creating a real like fan base. So
Yeah.
after the first year of just like kind of like going to all like the venues and events and supporting everybody and seeing what everyone was about with my research, the second year, that was when like I really started like really performing and really getting out there, doing all types of shows. Basically just going as hard as I could to get my name out there as much as possible, getting on as many flyers, just so that people like couldn't, not take me seriously. And
Yeah.
then I mean by doing that, that's when Term ended up like seeing my grind, and being like, I saw like something in you that I find in myself. And he was like, you know what, I see the vision. And that's when he, he hit me up after like kind of like getting in the studio a few times and like getting to know each other and things like that. Um, he basically was like, yeah, like I want to sign you to a one album record deal. And basically like, that's what it was, just being honest and basically coming to me and being like, what can I do for you as an artist? Like, you pretty much do everything your own on your own. I don't have a manager. I don't have, anyone updating my social media. Like, I'm an independent artist. You know what I mean? So he was kind of like, what can I do for you? It seems like you do everything on your own. I was like, I just need, guidance. I need a mentor. I need somebody who's gonna really show me the ropes and the back end of what everything is. So this past year, I've been kind of just learning what the back end, what it takes to, substand that many generations of music and to be relevant still to this day, and so now I'm kind of in a mode where I'm almost done with my first album, and I've been putting that out this year, hopefully by the spring, and like it it's it's really crazy because it's like, when you plan something and execute it and it really
Yeah.
it happens even faster or better than you thought it would. You
Hmm.
start like pinch me like, can someone wake me up, like when's this shit gonna, like, is this a joke? Like, like
Yeah.
everything
Oh.
that's happened to me, like I've just been trying to enjoy it as much as possible and like just live in the moment, not really like be too like hype beast about it, and really just enjoying everything. And because I, like I said, like I'm a music lover, I love music, music's always been in my life. So it's like it just feels like a real blessing to be able to do this, because I feel like there's so many people in the world that want to experience the things I've experienced just within this past year alone. But it takes, a lot of work, a lot of dedication. It takes a certain kind of person to make it in this industry,
Yeah.
especially underground, because the underground is a lot more like cutthroat than I feel like other things, because it's like
Yeah.
if you're not real, if you're not like with it, if you really don't have the talent, they'll tell you. Like they'll be like, "Yo, don't bring that person around no more," or "Nah, you embarrassed me," or you know what I mean. So it's like it's really more about the talent, more about the knowledge, like and all that stuff. So like my journey so far, I think has been um it's been quite a blessing and quite a paradox, because I feel like most people, most women at least, don't get to experience like the industry this way. Like I haven't had any negative experiences.
Yeah.
I haven't had like yeah, like there's been like bumps in the road, of course, and things that I don't want to deal with, and drama that come from outside, haters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as the people around me, they're really good people, and they respect me as a woman, and they've done everything in their power to to help catapult me forward. And I feel like
Yeah.
that means a lot to me, because I see and hear all the stories, of other females, and not getting the same type of treatment, so I feel like thus far it's been a really enjoyable experience. And I just can't wait to see, what I can do, further from here, helping other artists or giving other people examples, or giving advice, or for other women, being an advocate for other women, for real
Yeah.
women. What I'm doing is, I feel like, a little different than what the average female has been doing. Like, I don't rap about sex appeal. I don't sing about, taking someone's man, or, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? I talk, rap about and sing about real things, like real
Yeah.
struggles that women go through. And um, I feel like that's like, it's like you said, the underground is rising, and it's almost becoming
Mm-hmm.
a mainstream thing. And that's what I want. I want women to feel like they can be, themselves. They don't have to have a BBL. They don't have to have lip
Mm-hmm.
filler in a bust down, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have to have lace front, nothing like that, to be special and to go
Yeah.
out there and shine.
Yeah. Um thank you for saying that because I see a lot of things. You know, a lot of, female MCs or female rappers that come on my page and I'm like, everybody is everybody is so focused on, you know, the women that are twerking, the women that are half dressed. But like my album of the year was by Raspity because Raspity to me is
Yeah,
she's an MC, she's a
amazing.
woman, and she's promoting I can be who I am and still get my point across. I don't have to be half dressed. I can be fully dressed and still get my point across. My favorite female MC of all time is Queen Latifah. And when Queen Latifah did Ladies First, I never seen a Queen Latifah video where she was half dressed. She stood her ground. Her voice was very strong. She said what she said. She meant what she said, and she can rap with the best of them, male and female. And like when you say what you just saying, like I think about, when I was in eighth grade and the Lauryn Hill album came out, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. When I think about R&B, you know, that's like my go-to. I listened to the album from front to back. She was rapping, she was singing. And I tell people all the time, Lauryn Hill's the inventor of all this singing and rapping. She did it first.
Mhm.
And, you know, definitely, always just want to make sure I give her her flowers. But like again, like when I came across when you came across my timeline, that's what I saw. I saw somebody that just genuinely loves to sing. You love to rap. You're really good at it. You're not out here doing the most.
Yeah.
It's like it seemed like you just have your own lane. And I was like, those are the type of people that I want to promote. Those are the type of people that I want to come on my platform. And, I'm just trying to like be very, very cautious about having certain type of people come on here. Not just anybody, but just certain type of people that fit what I love and that are doing great things for the culture. So I appreciate you for, what you're doing and what you're building. So thank you for that. Um, you talk about terminology. Funny story. I want to say in 2000 and maybe 2004, 2005, um, my best friend played this song and it was called Stick to the Script. And my best friend at the time was a big Saigon fan. And he puts this song on and it's Saigon's terminology and the status selector.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the hell? I said, who is terminology? And I was in Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. Shout out to Maryland. Um, and I was like, who the hell is terminology? And who the hell is status selector? He was like, yeah, they're from like Massachusetts. And like, again, like I had never been to Boston. So I'm like, what the hell?
Nice
But
of me.
yeah, so I was like, yo, he is really, really nice. I said, that's my favorite, one of my favorite songs of all time. Shout out to Status Selector, because Status Selector is probably to me one of the best producers of all time.
Yeah,
Shout out to
fact.
Terminology also, because he's probably one of the best lyricists to me. And when I heard him rap on that song, I said, what the hell? Like, it was just like, it was like finding something that was new because we're listening to these MCs from Boston and nobody else in Maryland is listening to them. So like talk to me a little bit about like that partnership and like what has that been? What has that meant for you and been for you? How's that been for you?
Yeah, I mean, since the beginning, I mean, Term has always had my best interest at heart. He really believes in me, and it made me believe in myself, like, and basically everything I was going through, like, because he's from the nice side, he's from Lawrence, so
Okay.
like, um, growing like his journey was a little similar as to like, Boston is not, the easiest place to, brand yourself all the time because especially they're not from Boston. Oh,
Yeah.
you're not from Boston. You can't say oh, you're from there. So they actually started. They used to say 617 and all, whenever they went anywhere, and then everyone from Boston said they couldn't do that. So he ended up using the 978 and shit like that. But it 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 resonated with me because it was kind of the same thing going on. Like, I mean, my mother's from the north end and my father's from Mattapan, so like
Yeah.
just 'cause I was raised in PB, I mean, on Fruit One. I mean, that's as Boston, that's as New England, that's as Massachusetts, you know. But at the same time, like, I mean, I had to prove myself, because here they see this girl, oh, you're from the North Shore, like you don't even claim Boston or this and that, So kind of like us talking about that experience, we bonded over that, because technically, North Shore is a real 978. If anyone knows, Lawrence used to be 508. No, then they changed the 978 late. Anyway, that's a different story for a different day. But 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 yeah, like like we bonded over that type of thing because of a lot of the stories I was telling him and my experiences. He was like, "Damn, I dealt with that too." Like, damn, like she's having to deal with this. What him and Stat had dealt with. Even now, I mean, Stat, been living in Brooklyn for like, I mean, like 20 years maybe, if not
Yeah.
more. And Term, he's still in the 978. But like getting to know them and like realizing that they're really where I'm from and like going that business relationship but also personal relationship, like they're both two amazing people that
Yeah.
that put their art and work before mostly anything except for family. They're both two wonderful fathers, good dad gang.
Yeah.
And
There you go. Good dad game.
their work ethic is unmatched, and it's like, I mean, 50 plus albums, that's crazy. Like, I just can't, like, that, like, how many words is that? How many freaking, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's not even everything. The term's also a producer. He's
Yeah.
also, he and Stat, like, every week, I mean, at show off, I mean, there's all types of like a star-studded cast in that room, and he's always in the lab, creating beats just in seconds, and it's just amazing, how they manage to balance everything and manage to get everything, together, and it's just inspiring. It's just been really a great mentor, apprentice type of relationship the past year. I've just gotten to know a lot about, the history too, because I mean, they were there from the beginning as well. I mean, you figure Stat went out there and just basically backpacked his way through everything. Now he that's his home now, Term. He's been all over the world. Like, just I've just learned so much from them, and I had to earn, obviously they're respectful, to women, but it's like I had to earn my respect. It wasn't like I just went in there and like it's like, oh, this is Nim. Like, we're gonna do this and this. I had to, go in there every week. I mean, driving to New York, just for the day, like, and like in my, my Jeep Renegade, like going back and forth, like every week. Like I had to prove myself, but it's I I don't even know how to like really put it in words. It's just something you have to really like live through
Yeah.
because these people like they don't make no excuses. Like stop earlier that in like maybe like last January, like a year from around this time, he was in the hospital. That
Yeah.
man
I saw
right
that.
he went right from the hospital to show off, had the show, and then went to my release part, me and Term's release party. Like he
Yeah.
had just gotten out of the hospital that day.
Yeah.
Like like that I've never seen nothing like that in my life. The man like, passed away and came back. Like and he was there at show off, doing the show at 7 o'clock, like he does every single week. And I'm like, wow, okay. Like that was how I started off the year, was seeing that. And I'm like, damn, like if that's what you gotta do to be a legend, like then I got to work up to that. And like,
Yeah.
I have to really show because there's no excuse, if he's not making no excuse, I can't make no excuses.
Hmm.
They just set the bar really high. And I'm thankful for that because I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that think they can, like, there's a cheat code or now you got to do the work. And these two men, they do the work and
Yeah.
they don't cheat the system. They're not out here getting, like escalators to the top or anything like that. So it's like it's just been really eye opening, and it's just been really refreshing to see two
Yeah.
people that are so real and how they become family at this point. Like I got a family out in New York, I got a family out here with ST, so it's like it's just been really a really enjoyable experience. I mean, it wasn't easy, but I mean, now at this point, I feel like I have a lot of respect from both of them. Not that I didn't before, but I feel like I really showed my worth and really showed like how much I really want this, and it's just been a really great experience like watching, two legends completely smash every single, opportunity and every single dream that they have. It's just
Yeah.
really inspiring, to be right there with both of them and see everything happening behind the scenes, on and off the
Yeah.
stage.
No, that's dope. That's really really dope. And I mean that's not everybody gets an opportunity to have an experience like that. And it sounds like you're making the best out of that experience. You've made the best out of that experience. So that's really really dope. Um, the song "Too Good to Be True," which to me is a
Yeah.
great song.
Well, thank you.
Um, I love that song. Again, you know what I mean. I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm just not an R&B type of guy, but I'm heavy, heavy rap. My wife tells me all the time, like you gotta like switch it. I haven't really gotten there quite yet, but I love that song. Can you talk to me a little bit about like the process of like making that song and like how that song came about?
Yeah. So it was for a series by a producer and videographer named Melks.
Okay.
He's on the 978 area. Um, he works really closely, with ST. I'm pretty sure he's in partnered with Nowhere Studios, John Glass, all those type of people out that way. Um, but yeah, like he had this series called Bar Out, and
Okay.
a lot of the times it's like because he's a producer and a videographer, so he basically works with an artist. He gives them a beat pack. You pick a beat, record the song, and then he films the video and puts it on like his page and everything like that, and groups it in with all the other songs that he has going on. So basically, it was always something that we had like talked about doing, but just didn't know when, didn't know what kind of approach you wanted to go with. A lot of the people, I mean, it's called bar out, so I mean, a lot of the people go on there and they bar out, like they spit like these crazy verses and everything, and there was a beat he had sent me like a year prior that I just never did anything with. And like he had sent me a bunch of other beat packs like that had like, like really hard like hip hop beats. But
Yeah.
I just going back to this beat, I was like, hey, is this still available? Like, can I use this? I have a really great idea for this. Like, I had written a whole other song to it and completely just scratched that. Like, it was like, hey, like I got this really new cool idea. Like, I have like an R&B song, but it doesn't really have like a hook. Like, it has like a bridge slash hook, like thing. Like, it's just basically like the same kind of concept of like R&L, but the R&B type of vibe.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be really cool, and I have a really great idea for it. So we sat down, I showed him, he's like, yo, I love this. I love this idea. Like it's really gonna open up like, the option that he can choose from now, to have people on there, gives him a different perspective on how to approach it. I felt like this is an open canvas and I can just kind of do whatever I want with it. It's like an opportunity to get really creative. It's something different that like people haven't really seen from me this past
Yeah.
year. Cause I mean, I've been riding around with Term. I mean, all these thugs, getting crazy with these lyrical, crazy, hard ass beats and stuff. So I figured I'd go a different approach with it, kind of to cut up like the different stuff and that I've been doing this year. And yeah, we went and just recorded it raw, like at his crib, just recorded the song, and then we went to Surefire. Brady mixed it, and then we recorded the video in downtown Lowell at night, and just kind of had fun with it. I was like, I wanted to almost feel like I'm just wandering around, like after the let out at the club or whatever. I'm just walking around, and I'm just
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of like just have that like methodical like type of feel to it.
Yeah.
And when we were done filming, we were just like, oh my god, this is gonna be so awesome. People are gonna love this. Like, and we were just so obsessed with it even before it came out. Like, it
Yeah.
was so obsessed with it. And it was a really great experience. And it opened up a lot more like connections and doors for me and Melks, because I think a lot of people didn't realize we were capable of these things. So it was a really great experience, and it really made me kind of understand, like, wow, okay, like this was me taking a risk. Maybe I should take more risks, and maybe
Yeah.
I, try to work with more people and get them out of their comfort zone just as much as I'm getting myself out of my comfort zone, because it creates something so beautiful and so unique. And that's what I'm about. I know I like to just create unique experiences and moments with my
Yeah.
music, because I
Yeah.
want people to feel it. I want people to, it to resonate with people, and I want, it to be a vibe, you know what I mean, all the
Yeah.
time. So it was a really great experience, and it was almost like a happy accident, because like that beat was not what I had for that originally was not even close to what had come out of it. And it was also like my emotions at the time, like that's how I was feeling. I was going
Yeah.
through something where I felt like someone was not appreciating me, but now that I've leveled up, like they kind of trying to double back, and I'm like, all right, well, not too late. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like that situation. But yeah, it was all really kind of random. It wasn't really planned or anything like that. It
Yeah.
and we ended up like executing it, like we ended up recording it, filming it all like less than a month. Like, so, and it was something we wanted to do quick because we wanted to get it out before like other things and things like that. So it was something we did fairly quick. And it wasn't really like planned or anything like that, but it was just like a happy accident, and it opened a lot of doors for both of us. And I think it got like the fire under our asses for this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean the song is beautiful.
Too.
I like it a lot. I definitely listen to it. So I have it on one of my playlists on my phone. So,
Oh, thank
you know, I definitely play it. So, I'm definitely a fan of what you're doing. Um, what makes you smile these days?
you. I think just seeing how much this community has turned around and supported each other. I remember there was a time where like it was really difficult to get people to share each other's flyers, to get people to comment. People thought they was too cool for that.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy, like just being a fan, like just going to an event and not having to perform or anything, just going as Nim, just being there and standing back and watching how everybody is like, everyone's collaborating, everybody's like coming together, like how this music scene is has grown so much and how people are taking it so much more seriously and how a community has grown because people are being kind and people are being inclusive and people are supporting each other. Like I know it's not where I want it to be yet quite yet, but it makes me really happy to see everyone supporting each other. You know,
Yeah.
because just a few years ago that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So I think our community is in a much better space. And even if people have drama and problem, people are still showing up for people. Um, like venues aren't able to veto us as much because we're not going and being violent and doing these events. People are getting it together. People are understanding that this is bigger than just us. And music right now, I think is it's like going in like a divergent direction where like there's a lot of history going on right now in music. And like I think a lot of us are on the right side of it and we're doing the right to like keep the community alive, safe, and to keep it inclusive for everybody. So it makes me really happy to see everybody support each other because I always say you lose nothing from supporting somebody else. You lose no light from lighting someone else's scandal with your own. And
Yeah.
I always spread that, you know, even if I don't like somebody, like their music could be slapping, but doesn't like just because I don't like them or I don't get along with them or agree with them doesn't mean that I can't, you know, give them their credit or give them their flowers. I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing now. Like they're giving each other their flowers, you know, before it's too late.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I yeah, again, like I saw when I went to that Eva show. When I went to the Eva show, I definitely saw how these people just were collaborating with each other, showing each other love, and had a lot of respect for one another. So that is very dope. What's a quote that you live by?
Hmm. Haven't you? um, I think they say always be kind. That's but either quote. My grandmother used to say it all the time. In Tupac and kind of sunny eating. Favorite near and dear to my part is never food. But yeah, always be kind. You never know what people are going through. You never know how someone's day went. Because they're presenting something, you know, nasty energy. Doesn't mean you need to make it any worse. You know, just to be kind. Because you never know what's really going on with people.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really, really good one. One that I've said this on many episodes. What is this? Episode 66. I say this on every episode. My favorite quote is by Nipsey Hussle. Um, the highest human actor to inspire. And when he said that, I was like, yeah, I feel like that's what it's all about. It's like what legacy you leave. When it's all said and done, what do you want people to remember and know about you? Because the money doesn't go with you, the fame doesn't go with you, but how you made people feel, what you did for people, how you supported people, people will never forget that and they'll always remember that. So I just try to inspire as many people as I want. I'm a teacher, so I teach fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade social
Oh, wow.
studies.
That's a
You know what
tough,
I mean?
tough
I've
age.
been, I've
Oh
been
my
in
God.
I've been in education for about 15 years now, and it's my passion.
Mhm.
It's something that I love to do. And I stand in front of kids, I inspire them. I have my own kids that I inspire. I have my wife that I inspire. I have my family that I inspire, and people that's really rooting for me to like, do well with this whole thing that I built for myself. So, I just want to keep inspiring, just helping as many people as I can. So, that's the quote that I would say. Legacy, like what legacy do you want to leave in the world?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh, yeah, Earth to Nim. But yeah, I mean, I just want to leave a legacy. Like when I do eventually decide to have children or have a family, I just want them to understand, like, not everybody is raised the same, but you don't have to, be like other people. I feel like being yourself is the easiest way to live a joyful and peaceful life. I feel like too many people, we got these masks on. A big question people ask me, when I do these interviews is like, "Oh, who is Nim K off the stage?" I'm like, the same damn person. Like, I'm the same person. I'm the same person on and off the stage. Like, I'm the same person at work. I'm the same person at my house. I'm the same person everywhere. You could not talk to me for 10 years. I'm still gonna be the same person. You
Yeah,
know, yeah, always growing in learning for the better and, with age. But I think just being yourself, I feel like that's the legacy I want to leave behind, is always being authentic, always being real, because it's like being honest, being kind, treating people with, integrity, and just being like, a classic woman, I think that's something I want to, leave behind, and I want, to kind of inspire people to do that, because I feel like it's really easy to be all these things we see on social media, but it's not very easy to be a real person nowadays, I
yeah,
guess. I mean, for me, it's always been simple because I've always been myself and I've never let anybody, intimidate me into changing. Um, but I feel like that's the message that I want to leave behind, is it's okay to be you. It's okay to be different, because that's the biggest lie they tell us, is that we're all the same, because we're not.
yeah,
We're not the same. We're not all equal in all ways. And that if we were, it'd be a very boring world. So I want to always inspire people to be themselves, because, like, if that person don't feel it, someone gonna feel it, and those are gonna be the people you want to be around. If someone doesn't like, what you do, or doesn't agree with, your personality, then get away from them. Go be with people that want to celebrate you.
yeah,
If you're always wearing a mask, you're gonna have to keep up with that charade, and that's not easy, because you'll be lying to yourself every day.
yeah,
I inspire people to, to really look at themselves and feel beautiful and feel special, and no matter who you are. I mean, because I'm autistic,
okay,
so like in school, because I had an IEP, I was always in those classes where, I'm by not by any means I'm not challenged, but socially and other things I am challenged. You know what I mean? So like seeing, all these different walks of life of people, and seeing how they were treated for being different. And, always me, I was one of those people that I bullied the bullies. Like, you wasn't gonna bully no one around me, and you
yeah,
wasn't gonna bully me. That's not what we're gonna go down. So I honestly just feel like, being yourself is so beautiful. And I feel like now more than ever, people are allowed to be different and be themselves. People aren't, necessarily being made fun of as much for being different. Differences are being celebrated. And I feel like, like I just feel like that's what I want to leave behind. I
well,
don't, and I mean, like, I just feel like that's where my heart lies when it comes to that type of stuff.
yeah, I think that's dope. I think that's a very, very good response. And thank you for sharing that. Top, if you had to have your top five favorite MCs of all time, who would you put in there? You could put R&B artists in there too if you want, but your top five of all time.
Okay.
Mine's always changes.
Yeah, I mean, since like basically like I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Kendrick. He's
Yeah,
always like since like like I mean since like just since like even before Section 80, like
yeah,
hearing, overly dedicated, like you know what I mean, like he's always been my top, one of my top, him, Freddie Gibbs. I love Freddie Gibbs. I love him. I love Freddie Gibbs so much. Like I like not to get into this because I just this will be a quick story. I swear, I promise. But I was in Manhattan like a few months ago in Lower East Side, and he walked out of a freaking parking garage, and I was like, and me, I don't fangirl. I've met a million legends. I've never asked anyone to take a picture. I'm actually a very quiet person. Like,
Yeah.
people actually ask if they're like, oh, does she talk? Like, you know what I mean? I've never fangirled over anybody, but Freddie Gibbs, I freaked the fuck out when he walked out of that parking garage. I was like, is that oh my goodness. I was like, Freddie, free you. Because they keep playing with you on Instagram. They keep
Yeah.
putting you in Instagram jail. Free Freddie. Like I
Yeah.
was like, yo, I was like, I was like, I need to take a picture. I'm sorry, I don't normally do this, but I gotta take a picture with you, sir, because I love Freddie Gibbs. But Kendrick, Freddie, um, I think it would be wrong to not include. I mean, I feel like Lauren Hill, I really, really
Yeah.
appreciate her music so much.
Yeah.
And always listened to her when I was little. I think I want to does out can I can have Outcast as like
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outcast, my dad listened to them so much when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Um,
Outcast is fly, man.
yeah, fire, fire, fire.
Yeah.
So that's four, right?
That's four.
Um, this is so difficult. And I think probably I'd say Young Jeezy. I love Young Jeezy.
You know,
That
you're the first person of what I did. I've done 66 episodes. I'm 100% sure nobody's ever put Young Jeezy in their top five.
I love Young Jeezy.
Yeah.
I listened to what's that album? Hold on, let me look.
What's one? Trap or Die? The first one with Gangsta Grills with
No,
DJ Drama.
no,
That's
no.
my favorite one.
Hold on.
Yeah, that one goes, man. That DJ Drama Gangsta Grills when he first came out, I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Hold on. What
He had everybody on the block with the white tees and the big jeans on. You know, we all thought we was doing something.
album? Because I listen to him every Hustler Ambitions.
Mm.
TM 103. Bro, that album, I listen to that album every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. Like at least one song off the album. Like
Yeah.
Young Jeezy, I mean, I would put 50 Cent in there too, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I don't just put him in that category. I look at him
Yeah.
as more of like a mobile.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Young Jeezy, you can see why my music taste is all over the place.
Yeah, no,
Like
it's dope. I mean,
I
you
get
got some.
rapping too,
Yeah.
I can look for the Dope Boys.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. My top five, mine's change all the time. My number one never changes. Hove is my number one. Um, yeah, Jay-Z will always be my number one. I tell people this all the time. In My Lifetime was the first ever album I bought that came out in '97. I'll never forget. I went down to the store. I had just got my first check from working. I was doing like a little paper route. And I had In My Lifetime in my hand. I had Master P's Ghetto D in my hand. I love Master P because I spent time down south in Florida with my cousins and my grandmother and all that. I actually went to school. Yeah.
Not Wayne.
But and like I think Wu-Tang Forever was out then in my Life After Death. And I bought that CD, and like ever since then, like I've been a fan of him. And like my life, a lot of things that happened to me in my life, I can tell you what Jay-Z album was out at that time because it was sort of like the soundtrack of how I was growing up. So Hov will always be my number one. Number two, I have to put Raekwon in there. I love Raekwon.
That was
just
great.
his
That
flow.
was meeting him at the Bushwick Collective.
Yeah, just his
summer.
yeah,
they
just
got
his flow.
beautiful mural of him out there.
Yeah, just his flow, his swag, and just everything about him. The DOC, I definitely got to give love to the DOC just for him. Just even before him coming on the podcast, man. Like I gotta make sure that
He was on the podcast.
yeah, he's been on the podcast. He was episode 50 on season. 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy. That must have been
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. That was awesome. It was a dream come true for me, man. I was so excited. My family was so excited. I love the DOC. So that's 3. 4. Um, 4 Ransom. I love Ransom.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people sleep on Ransom. Ransom to me is probably one of the best lyricists of like one of the best lyricists ever. I feel like he's so underground and he's so under the radar. He doesn't really get a lot of. He doesn't get his flowers. I always try to give him his flowers. I've tried to get him on my podcast, but he's not really doing interviews right now. But he's dope. Um, and then number 5, I gotta put Nas in there. Gotta put Nas in there. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I can do a top 25 right now, but like in my top 5, that'll probably be my top 5.
That's pretty
So
solid top five for sure.
yeah, but yeah, that's my top 5. So I always ask people this. I always ask my guests this: if you can invite 10 people to dinner, dead or alive, who you inviting?
Oh wow, 10 people? That's a
10
lot of
people.
that's a lot of
10
people to
people.
dinner with.
10 people, dead or alive, big dinner.
Um, the first person, Erica Badu, I'd want her there for sure. I think that woman is amazing. She's
Okay.
incredible. So
Yep.
Erica Badu, that's homegirl for sure. Um, probably Billie Holiday. I
Okay.
would I would love for her to be there.
Okay.
Um, hmm, hmm. Edgar Allan Poe. So this
Okay.
would be a wild dinner party. um, uh, hmm. Yeah, this is difficult. This is a pretty. I never had to think about something like this. Um, that put me on the spot. Um,
Okay.
Dr. Steffi.
Okay.
Um, oh, this would be a great conversation. My grandmother, that'd be
Your
awesome
grandmother. Yep.
to have dinner with her again.
Yep.
That's 4, right? We have
That's
6
4.
to go. Um, hmm. You know that monkey that can talk, like can do sign language.
I don't know who that. I've never
Coco,
seen that.
Coco, that ape that can like actually communicate with people.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how that would go in a restaurant, but I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool, at least to be able to talk to the because like I feel like animals like they know so much that we don't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like being able to like just sit down and be like, yo, like even if there was an interpreter or something there, like to kind of get a grip on like how this animal views us and what
Yeah.
we become. Um, hmm. Because this is just about me getting these people in a room and be able to pick their brain.
Yeah.
Uh, hmm. And I'm trying to like move past music because I feel like there's a lot of people in this world that are very interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean your list already. A lot of names that you said. Nobody has said those names, but it gets. This is a good question. I ask this question to all my guests, and at some point, I'm going to take every episode of every person I've asked this to, and I'm going to make it one big reel because I really just want to. Because I think it's so amazing to hear a lot of the different aspects and a lot of the different people invite to dinner. It's pretty dope. I like it. It's one of my favorite questions to ask.
Denzel Washington. Um, I love that man.
Yeah, a lot of people love. A lot
Denzel.
of women love Denzel.
Denzel. um, um, hmm. Hmm. We're on 7. Was that 7
We're
people?
on 7.
Okay. Um, I'm trying to think. Um, well, this is difficult. I'm sorry that I'm taking this long, but I don't want to just invite just anybody because
Yeah, yeah,
I don't even like going to dinner with another person. I go to dinner by myself, so
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I don't I like the idea of people, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm not really a fan of
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Uh, um, mm, I think my mother and my father, just
Your
because
mother and your father.
they haven't been in the same room in like years, and like
Okay.
them having to be in the same room and have to function, I feel like with all these interesting people, I feel like there wouldn't be any, you know,
No.
but I feel like if only on the terms that they could actually like get along in the
Yeah.
same way, you know. Um and we got one more person. Hmm. Mm. I hope this so suspenseful. I don't want to disappoint for the last person. Uh
You gotta make it somebody good.
yeah. I'm
Can't
trying to
have no.
right. This is so difficult. Um
You can't have no lamos at the dinner.
right, exactly. This is a star-studded cast already.
Yeah, you got a list. This list is dope.
And I think, hmm, hmm, ano si side of the balcony? Oh, hmm. Um, I'm trying to think of like one more person that's like that I think I would really actually want to get to know and talk
Yeah.
to. Um, hmm, hmm, probably a Lear.
Okay. I don't think anybody's ever said Aaliyah. I think that's a
Yeah,
dope. I think that's a dope 10. I really, really like that. Um, I think that was a dope 10, and I think you really, really thought about
for
this.
everyone I have invited.
Yeah. I um I don't know. I never do mine. Um Jay-Z would be there, Master P would be there, Nipsey Hussle would be there, um, Wallow would be there, um, Wallow from $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. Um, um, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson to be there. They have my favorite podcast, All the Smoke.
Hmm.
Um, Icky Johnson would be there. If you don't know who Icky Johnson is, y'all definitely should look him up. Icky Johnson is a motivational speaker. Phenomenal, just a phenomenal person with a great message. Um, I would have my wife would be there. My grandmother would be there. Um, Princess Diana would be there. I love Princess Diana.
Hey.
Um, gotta have, gotta like mix it up a little bit. Who else would be there? That's what, six. Um, I would invite Bun B. I'm a big Bun B fan.
Oh, yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
I
I think
I
Bun
haven't
B. I think Bun B has one of the best flows in rap. And cadence, like he can just rap, man. I would love to just talk to him about like his relationship with Pimp C and UGK and like what
yeah.
that was like for him. Um, I would invite I said Nipsey also. Will Smith. He's my favorite actor of all time. I love Will. Um
Well,
I would invite Will. Kanye West.
oh, I love Kanye.
Kanye West.
Kanye.
And last person, who would the last person be? Um, you know what? Lauren Hill, because I have to know what went into her making the Miseducation of Lauren Hill. That album from start to finish is beautiful. Um, and I've been waiting so long for somebody to come along and like you can't recreate that album, but you can make something like that because I feel like that is what we need right now. We need an album like that. We need an album where it's talking to young women um, about themselves, and also, not only young women, but talking about men, talking to men. But there's a space right now where we need an album like that. Somebody that's authentic, somebody that's honest, and somebody that's willing to just share their soul and share their life with everybody else. I feel like there's a space for people to come out with music where they're just very authentic. Um, when I think about like the last album that I've heard like that came from Sheikh Hanif came out with Wilderness of North America. It's one of my favorite albums. I've actually put that album on like if I did a top 25, Wilderness of North America would be on that, and it might be in my top five. It's definitely on the list. He told a story on that album from start to finish, but he told his story. Um, he came to the school and talked to my kids also. You know what I'm saying? And um, I just thought it was incredible because I think that's the last album I've heard where it was an album. He told his story. You know what I'm saying? From start to finish. And I um I just think there's space for that. You know what I'm saying? I think there's space for somebody to come out with an album where more albums need to come out, just albums. Everybody's doing like jingles and everybody's doing hits but nobody's doing an album, you know,
Yeah.
with playback value also. You gotta be able to put out an album and somebody like plays it over and over again. It's like when I hear your song, I think, when I hear the song, what's the song? Your song, Too Good to Be True. I think that's what it is for me. There's playback value there, but it's so refreshing because you're singing about different things. You're not singing about the same stuff that you always hear. You're not singing about taking somebody's man. You're not singing about, I got this, I got that. You're singing freely and you're singing it from your heart. The song is beautiful. So, um, with that being said, what is what's next for you? Like, what's going on in 2025? I know you said you're putting that album out. I don't know if you're doing different things, but I can't wait for you to put the album out because, you know, I just think that you are going to come out with a very, very great album. And I think that you're going to come out with an album that, we need at this time, So tell me like what's going on for you in 2025.
Well, that's the main priority is this album. Like, I trust me, I want the album to be out. Like I'm pretty much almost done with it. We're in the final process of like
Yeah.
really just getting it together and everything and like creating, like the plan for the rollout and everything like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just want to like because I last year was pretty much me focusing so much on the album and like artist development. I feel like this year I want to be able to collaborate with other artists because how I collaborate is I like to I like to focus on like the true sound of the artist, but also I want to get them like not uncomfortable, but so out of their comfort zone that they just do something they've never done before. Like when I collab with somebody, like and it's a true collaboration, not just a feature or whatever, but a
Yeah.
true collaboration, I like to like almost challenge the other person because I just like their sound, I want them to give it like 110%. So it's like I just this next year I want to really create a lot of classic collaborations
Yeah.
with artists that I believe can go further than the surface value of what they're doing right now. I want to like push them and get something out of them that no one's gotten out of them before. Like I really want to work with select few artists, which I've already had some conversations with people on like different things I want to do, but because I didn't really have a lot of time last year to collaborate, I really want to collaborate with a lot of different people and sounds, and um, I also really want to I want to make something that can relate to the music but also can benefit the community as well. Kind of how, Term has Good Dad Gang and now it's officially become a nonprofit. Um so like he there's so many more, um there's so many more limits that you can reach
Yeah.
creating that. And for 10 years, I mean, he's literally been making sure that these children have backpacks, school supplies, haircuts, kicks, clothes, have a good time before they go back to school. Like I want to create something for like the babies and the children and the little
Hmm.
girls that look up to, older women,
Yeah.
and want it to be like a staple in the community because like these kids are our future. Like, if we want the future to be better, then we have to show them the way.
Yeah.
And I want all these other little girls, I want them to understand, like, you're more than just, your parents or, what you could do for somebody. Like, your mind and how you navigate and all these other things. Like, being a natural classic woman and also being a boss, like, you can do those things at the same time. So I want to like build like a something for for like younger women to understand their value and to make them understand that there's more to life than the things that they see on TV or social media. you know I want to
Yeah.
create a thing for them, even if it starts, because everything starts where, even if it's small, I want to create something, a place. Because that's my end game. My end game is, to be able to create some type of rec center or some type of place for the babies to go where it's inexpensive or free, and they can, get, they can fill their minds with things that children should be thinking about, not, things that I just feel like nowadays, like kids don't even think about like little kid things. They think about things that have nothing to do with them at
Yeah.
all. It's really disturbing.
Yeah.
I remember being 12 and wearing, capris and a matching shirt. Like and and still playing with Barbies. It's like now kids are 12 and they're like, "Oh, like I'm going to the mall and I'm doing this and I'm going here and oh, I need this new lip kit. Oh, my skincare. This I mean, it's good to take care of yourself, but being an influencer at 12 years old and getting on the web and having so many people like sharing their opinion about you or so many people having access to a child while they're in their house is really disturbing to me.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that, and that's a very, very good answer. Um, but yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. There is a lot of like, kids are growing up a lot faster and like things that, when I was growing up, it's just not interesting to them no more. Before I let you go, what is some advice you would give me? And then I'm going to give you some advice also, but you can go first.
Advice? Like, what do you mean?
Like, what advice? Like, what would you tell me to, she can tell you, like, keep going, or, you know, don't listen to anybody, or,
I would say to continue creating such like a real and I would like a like because I think this is really I was really comfortable talking to you. This platform seems like it's dedicated towards the real artists and the real or whoever you do have on here. I'm not sure if it's just dedicated to artists or who exactly, but um I think I would just say just keep doing what you're doing, with this platform. Because we need more platforms that are like this, comfortable, where people can just get on here and share. And also, your perspective on a lot of things, was very real, authentic, and kind of what we need, in the world. I really agreed with a lot of things you said. Um, but so I think I would just say, keep, spreading that mindset and, just keep doing what you're doing because I had a great time talking to you. This was awesome.
yeah, no, it was, I thank you so much for, just being a part of this. My advice for you would be, um, please just continue to be you. You're an amazing singer.
Thank you.
I'm so excited, and cannot wait for your album to come out because I feel like what I've been waiting for R&B wise, I think that you're getting ready to give us that. I think that you're genuine. I think that you're honest. And I think that you're doing music for the right things, and you're willing and you've worked hard to get here. Um,
Good.
please don't let anybody take your joy. Please don't let anybody diminish your hard work and what you did to get here, because I'm pretty sure you probably deal with that. There's haters everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, but block that noise out and continue to be you. You always, always, always have a space here. You have a fan now. I'm a
I'm
fan
gonna
because
be a fan too.
I'm a fan. So I'm a fan of what you're doing. I'm a fan of your movement. I'm always here for you. You need anything, hit me up. Um, and I'm here to support you. I love what you got going on. And I can't wait to hear the album. And you are this is the longest episode I've ever done ever.
Oh, really? Yeah,
An
well, that was
hour,
like hour and a half.
an hour and 22 seconds. So this is the longest interview I've ever done.
Hey.
And I think that's because it's just, like you just said, it was comfortable and we just were having a conversation, and that's how I wanted you to feel. So um thank you so so much for being a part of this and being a part of episode 66 and starting off season 4 for the Hanging with A podcast.
Woo! Yay.
All right.
Cheers to
Um
2025. Let's go. I hope you have a
2025.
great I hope you have a great season, Thank you
Thank
for
you.
letting me put off the year for you.
No, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for just willing to sit down and do this interview. It really, really means a lot to me.
Thank you. This means a lot to me too. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. Anytime, anytime the album come out, you want to come back on, you just let me know.
Okay, I
All
will.
right. You take care.
All right, you too.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too.
Be safe.
You too.